2013 Ford Flex. The windows stopped working. All of them. Also lost the power inverter in the back of the console and the moonroof. So when you look at fuses, the fuse panel underneath the dash, which is a real pain to get to. There are 3 bolts that hold the panel under here. 7mm. Who the heck uses 7mm? Ford does. What looks pertinent is fuse number 32. Which says, where is it? Oh, where is it? Where is it? It's kind of hard to see in the dark. Okay. 15 amp driver, window switch, and motor. Power lock switches. We'll come back to that in a moment. Moonroof, 110 AC power point, interior rear view mirror. I don't know what the rear view mirror does. I didn't pay any attention to that. I guess it somehow auto darkens, whatever. So I checked that fuse. It was fine. This tripped me up a little bit with the power lock switches, because the door locks have always worked. And in fact, the door locks worked when that fuse was out in my hand. So that was pretty confusing. There's also a relay there that sort of maybe seems related. It's the, what does that say? Number 40. Oh, come on, for God's sake. No, that's the wrong page. Did I not see it right? God, I don't know. Well, it's dark and my eyes are bad, and it's dark and cold. What does that say? That says 49. All right, 49. We'll look for 49. That's the wrong page again. Yes, that's the outside page. 49. Relay. Delayed accessory body control manual. So, module. God, I can't talk. Can you believe they let me make videos? That sounds to me like when you turn the key off and the radio still works for however long and all that stuff. That fuse 32 that seems like the most promising, that was fine. It was weird that the power lock switches worked. However, a friend of mine who is smarter automotively and has access to all kinds of wiring diagrams figured out that referencing power lock switches, that means the little LEDs that illuminate the lock switches, not the switches themselves. And I noticed one of the things nice about working in the dark is when the ignition was on, nothing lit up for the lock buttons or the window buttons. They have little LEDs in them that if you turn the ignition on are supposed to light up. And as you can see, they don't. So these fuses and relays, oh, it's just the one relay. They're in under the dash. They're, oh God, they're over here. Can you see? Where? There. All right. See my finger? No. Oh God. See, that's the beauty of it. There's no room. Anyway, they're under the dash, right? You got to pull out the panel from the dash. See the parking brake? They're above the parking brake. They're in there. And it's worth the trouble of taking this panel out so you can see and get to it. Remember, when you take that panel out, you've got this little fan that reads your temperature, your cabin temperature. In the past, when I had to pull that out and I turned the ignition on, it got pissed off. It threw a code because it wasn't getting a reading for that. So I leave the panel kind of out of the way. All right, anyway. So learning that line about the switches meant the illumination. From my buddy, he said it's got to either be that fuse number 32 or the relay in there. So out of my relay kit, I rigged up this that has a switch and a fuse, and it plugs into where the relay goes, and I can turn it on and off regardless of whether it's being told to turn on and off. So I'm going to put that back in to demonstrate. The relay has a little diagram that shows you what does what, which helped when I was wiring that up. Well, it would have, except I just also logicked it out. That the bigger, see how those two terminals are wider than those? So logic told me the bigger ones are the ones that actually carry the current. The little ones are the ones that go to the solenoid to activate it. Anyway, I got my creation in there. Can you see it? No, of course not, because there's stuff in the way and it's dark. It's right there. All right, so ignition is off, right? Keys are right there. Where's my switch? When I turned my switch on, I heard some kind of something click somewhere. And oh look, my lock buttons have illuminated. My window buttons have illuminated. And my windows work. And the inverter has a little light that I checked. So everything works. So either that relay was bad or it was not getting power to turn it on. But clearly everything else, once you get past that relay, works, because it all works when it has power. And then the happy ending of the story, I have, oh shoot, which one is the new one? Yes, I had an extra relay like this left over from one of our other issues before. When I put this in, everything works like it's supposed to with the ignition. So, long story short, that relay, number 49? That's what did it this time for me. Yay, happy ending. The best part is that means that I can run my Christmas lights back off of the stock inverter, and I can put this one back in my Jeep for its Christmas lights. Yay, Christmas miracle.